Guys, since when does a large McDonald's fries cost $21.50?
We're not happy. Not happy anymore. We weren't happy. Then you pay. And you find out that In-N-Out has raised their prices too. Like the other food places. Everywhere is raising their prices. I used to pay $8.39 for a while. Then it was $8.71. Now it's $9 even. Like, of course I'll probably come back. But how am I ever gonna survive this crisis? Which is one thing after another.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are doing well today. So I'm not sure when was the last time you visit fast food places, but apparently fast food prices have gotten out of control. You can't even grab a sandwich and fries without feeling like a sit-down restaurant bills, and it's wild that what used to cost $5 is now 15. And yeah, let's see what people are saying about this insane fast food prices.
McDonald's inflation! This is a menu from 2007 that I found on Reddit that we're going to use for a comparison. Here's my disclaimer, pause to read, let's move on. Let's first start with the Filet-O-Fish. So in 2007, it was selling for $2.59, but now it's selling for $4.49. That's a 92% increase in price. Next, let's go to the Big Mac. I know that image is fuzzy, but it looks like the price was $2.89. And the price right now is $5.89, 104% increase. Next, we got the double quarter pounder with cheese. And yes, the image is blurry, but I'm gonna say that's $3.79. Whereas now it's $7.29, a 92% increase.
Yeah, seeing those old McDonald's prices from 2007 honestly feels unreal. Like a Philly sandwich for $2.59. That used to be, a quick cheap meals. Now it's like $4.49 for the same sandwich, and I swear they even make it smaller too. I get it, inflation is a thing, right? Prices go up, cost of living changes, but this is way past normal inflation. It's crazy how something used to be fast food now feels like a luxury restaurant. Back then $5 could get you like a full meal. Now it's barely cover medium fries and a drink. And for the Big Mac, it's crazy to see as well. It went from $2.89 to $5.89. That is 104% increase for the same burgers. And it's not like it get any better ingredients or anything. The sauce didn't get more special, it just got more expensive. And what blew my mind is that how normal it has become for people to drop $15 on a McDonald's combos. And I understand that there's such thing as inflation, but if you think about wages haven't even come close to keeping up, and that's what make it even more frustrating, right? We're out here working harder, paying more, and somehow getting less. And it's not just McDonald's, it seems like it's happening everywhere.
So far, it looks like the price increases have been somewhere around 90 and 100%. Next, let's look at 6-piece nuggets. Back then, $2.29, but now $3.69? That's only a 61% increase. That feels so sus. Either they drastically decrease the size of the nuggets, or there's even more shenanigans going on with that chicken meat. Last, we got the large fries. Back then, $1.89, but now $4.99, 164% increase.
And the fries are what really got me. It went from $1.89 to a $4.99, so basically $5, and that is 164% jumped for potatoes and oil. Like, come on. That's the wild part, right? McDonald's keep posting record profit. So yeah, prices keep going up, but whose pocket are they filling, right? They call it inflation, but let's be honest, it sounds more like greedflation.
We have to talk about these McDonald's prices. I went to McDonald's today just to get some lunch, no intention to film a video. I got a double cheeseburger. I like it without ketchup. I think it's one of the best things on the menu at McDonald's, but the price caught me so off guard. This thing right here is $4.19. And I remember probably in high school, one of these was like $1, I think, before the McDouble was even invented. And I'm in Colorado. I don't know if that's why. I don't know if it's more expensive out here. But this thing right here for $4.19 is crazy. And don't get me wrong, I love these things. I get them all the time. I've been eating them for years. but $4.19 is too much.
Yeah, that's actually looks pretty good. Or maybe I'm just hungry right now. But $4 for that is actually overpriced, way overpriced, right? And I was looking at this video and one of the comments says that you can actually go to Chili's and it's 3 for $10.99. And I think that's fairly values, but $4 for this is actually insane.
Much. Now, to be fair, it is buy one, get one for $1. So $5.19 for 2 of these, which is still crazy. I don't know how McDonald's went from being the best value in food, not even just fast food, to now you can get 2 of these for essentially the price of like a Little Caesars pizza. You can feed a whole family, or you can get 2 double cheeseburgers. That's insane. I still love them. I will probably continue to get them. But honestly, it's hard to justify it when you can go to like any pizza place or even a place like Applebee's and get a slightly more expensive meal that is a meal, not a fast food burger. This is nuts. Something has to happen. I don't think it's going to. I guess it's McDonald's world and we're just living in it.
McDonald's wants us back, but we are never, ever, ever getting back together. So, McDonald's, after completely pricing themselves out in the last 3 years and making their meals ridiculously expensive just for parents who are trying to grab a Happy Meal for their kids, are trying to put together a $5 meal. So this is actually not a bad deal. I'll list it right here. It says McDonald's could include a choice of a McChicken, a McDouble, a 4-piece nugget, fries, and a drink. $5 seems very affordable. It's actually more than you get in a typical Happy Meal now, and probably cheaper.
Yeah, so I guess McDonald's want us back, right? You know, after years of hiking up their prices, turning to what used to be a cheap meals into a luxury spending, they're now rolling back to, you know, $5 value menus. And you get a McChicken or a McDouble, some chicken nuggets, fries, and a drink. I'm not gonna lie, that's not a bad deal. But I can't help it, but you know, this feels more like a pure damage control, right? You know, for the past few years, McDonald's was cashing in while everyone else was trying to survive the rising costs. And now that people stop showing up, you know, suddenly they want, you know, to be affordable again. It's funny how things works, right?
However, they completely took advantage of everybody, had record quarters over and over as the rest of us dealt with horrible inflation, not being able to buy homes, and just having absolutely no money for anything the last 3 years. They took advantage completely of the situation and drove their prices way too high for the average American family. People have figured out that Chili's, their local Mexican restaurant, any local burger place, whatever, was way cheaper than McDonald's right now. Not only that, they also have pretty much the worst food quality on the planet. And, you know, yeah, it was a cheap option for all of us when we were in a hurry, when our kids were tired.
And yeah, you know, I think McDonald's really did this to themselves. You know, they price out the very people who make them successful. You know, family just trying to grab a quick bite after work. You know, parents used to go there, you know, without thinking twice, but now it's actually cheaper to sit down at the local diner or, you know, even order from other places, right? And that's wild, you know. And yeah, I get inflation is real, you know, prices go up, everything costs more, but this is a little bit way too far. Especially when wages haven't keep up at all. And you know, McDonald's had record-breaking profit while most people are cutting corners just trying to make rent, and you can only do that for so long before people move on.
You guys remember Subway's $5 footlong? It's now $6 for 6 inches. And Taco Bell's beefy 5-layer that used to be 89 cents is now like $3.69. Drinks at McDonald's aren't even $1 anymore, and the McChicken, which used to be a staple of the dollar menu, is now almost $3. You guys were aware of this though, right? That fast food prices have increased far past the pace of inflation. Here's what that looks like over the past decade, okay? 2014, I had just started high school and still remember thinking, damn, fast food's kind of expensive, and now look at the prices, look at them now! McDonald's, what the is warranting a 100% increase in the past 10 years. These companies are trying to blame it on inflation, even though that's only at 31%, and they're still trying to say that it's about minimum wage, even though in half of the states that's still $7.25, which it's been since 2009. McDonald's saw an $8.5 billion profit last year. Yum! Saw $2 billion. It's greed, guys, and at this point, it's cheaper to eat healthier.
Yeah, I'm not sure about you, but I remember when grabbing something quick from McDonald's or Subway, it actually felt affordable. Now it's just insane, right? Like, how did a Subway $5 footlong turn into $6 for 6 inches? If you think about it, that's half of the footlong, right? And they even raised the price for that too. And the McChicken that used to be the definition of the dollar menu now is pushing $3, and it's wild, right? I get that prices go up, but this is just isn't inflation. This is fast food acting like fine dining, right? It's crazy when you realize that we used to joke about fast food being a guilty pleasure. Now the only guilty things about it is how much it costs. And you know what's funny or sad, depending on how you look at it, is that fast food is supposed to be the cheap option, right? But now it's actually cheaper to cook something at home or even a healthier food. And you know, I never thought that I say that about McDonald's or Taco Bell's. This massive corporation are pulling record profits. McDonald's just make over $8 billion last year's, and somehow still expect us to believe that it's inflation fault, right? It's not. It's actually, you know, corporate greed dressed up as economics, right? At this point, it's not fast food anymore. It's just fast spending, which is the irony of it, right?
Chick-fil-A has officially lost a loyal customer. My order today was $40. $40. The smallest shake you could find. Some grilled chicken nuggets. Some fries. That's all I ordered. Some fries. And some of their normal chicken nuggets. That's it. One meal and then an order of chicken nuggets was $40. Nope.
Yeah, I can't even wrap my head around spending $40 at Chick-fil-A and barely feeling full. I mean, I get it, right? Price go up sometime, but this is just ridiculous, right? And that's not a meal, that's a highway robbery for some chicken and fries. And honestly, you know, the moment like this make me rethink going into this, you know, changed restaurant at all. I feel like every time I go out, the prices keep creeping up faster than my paycheck. And it's frustrating because it used to be easy to grab a quick meal without, you know, breaking the bank, and now everything just went up through the roof, which is crazy to see.
I'm officially too poor for KFC. I am making pulled pork sandwiches for dinner tonight, and my family wanted coleslaw, specifically the coleslaw from KFC. So after I left the grocery store, I went to KFC and I ordered 3 sides of coleslaw and a kid's chicken nugget meal because I was hungry. I hadn't eaten all day. 3 sides of coleslaw and a kid's meal was, guess how much? Oh wait, just guess. $36. $36 for 3 sides of coleslaw and a chicken nugget kids meal. Like, what is this world coming to? I don't even understand how they can justify charging so much for fucking coleslaw and 5 of the tiniest chicken nuggets I have ever seen in my life. Like, I'll show you. Like, just fucking look at that. That is the tiniest little nuggets I have ever seen in my life. And then I got like a half order of fries. It was the smallest kids meal I've ever seen. Cold fries. I didn't get my drink. I didn't even realize that I didn't get my drink because it was supposed to be a Capri Sun. I didn't even realize I didn't get it until like I'd already driven away, and it's just a Capri Sun, so like whatever. But you're charging $36 and you're not even giving people their complete order. 3 sides of coleslaw and a kid's meal, $36. That is just fucking crazy.
Yeah, you know, $36 for 3 sides of coleslaw and a kid's meal is crazy to see. You know, can you imagine, you know, paying that for what basically are snacks? I mean, it's insane how fast food have gotten completely out of control. You know, you expect this change to be convenient and cheap, but prices like this hits, and it's hard to not question what you are even paying for, right? And when you look at what you are actually getting, you know, tiny chicken nuggets, half portion of fries, you know, probably cold too. I don't know about you, but when I see food like this paired with a $36 bills, it just doesn't add up, right? It really makes you wonder if any of these fast foods even care about giving real values anymore. And honestly, this is a warning sign for anyone, you know, who's trying to eat out regularly. Prices like this mean that fast food is slowly becoming, you know, unaffordable for everyday people. You know, I know that I'd rather just make something at home than getting burned like this. You know, you see the values disappearing, and it makes you rethink whether convenience is worth paying triple what it used to cost.
I was just robbed, literally just robbed at Wendy's because I got one thing. How much do you think this one thing was? I'll tell you. It was a large Diet Coke, right? A large Diet Coke. $3.55. $3.55 for a large Diet Coke. Damn near $4 for a fountain drink. Are we okay? I live in Ohio. And right now I'm not even in the nice part of Ohio. Speechless. Wendy's, are you good?
Yeah, you know, $3.55 for a large Diet Coke is actually insane to see. You know, can you imagine paying almost, you know, $4 for a fountain drink? I don't know about you, but you know, that's the kind of price that makes you stop mid-sips and question what is happening with fast food costs, right? It feels like even the simplest thing aren't even safe from inflation anymore. And it's not even like this is happening in some big cities with crazy rent and living costs. Like she say, right, this is Ohio, not exactly the prices area, and yet the price is creeping up everywhere. I mean, if you are paying that much for sodas in a standard fast food spot, you know, what's left for the rest of the meal, right? And honestly, this is just a small example, right? But it's telling a much bigger trend, right? Fast food chains are raising prices across the board, and your dollar just doesn't stretch like it used to. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I really appreciate you. And you know, talking about all of this food stuff really making me kind of hungry. So yeah, I'm going to make myself some food now, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.